She's not going to say it, not out loud, not in plain words, because desire, when it's real, doesn't announce itself. It leaks, it lingers, it hides in the spaces between her sentences, and if you don't know how to read those spaces, you'll miss the moment completely. You'll think she's just being nice. You'll think she's just comfortable. But comfort doesn't make her eyes hold yours 2 seconds longer than necessary. Comfort doesn't lower her voice when the room gets quiet. Comfort doesn't make her breathe differently when you step closer. And tonight, you're going to understand the difference. Welcome back to Female Code Unlocked, where we decode the psychology she will never say out loud. If you want to understand female desire on a deeper psychological level, subscribe now. Because once you see these patterns, you can never unsee them. Let's begin. The first clear sign a woman wants intimacy with you is this. She starts inviting emotional closeness before physical closeness. Most men look for obvious physical signals: touching, flirting, suggestive comments. But a woman who truly wants intimacy doesn't start with her body. She starts with access. She begins asking you questions that feel slightly deeper than necessary. Not, "What do you do?" but, "What made you choose that path?" Not, "How was your day?" but, "What's been on your mind lately?" It feels subtle, almost innocent. But psychologically, this is vulnerability testing. When a woman wants intimacy, she needs to feel emotionally safe first, so she slowly opens doors, not to see if you'll impress her, but to see if you can handle depth. You'll notice she lingers in conversations. She doesn't rush to leave. Even when there's silence, she stays. And that silence feels charged, because intimacy begins in emotional exposure. Think about the last time you felt that shift. The conversation got quieter, slower, more personal. She told you something she doesn't usually tell people. That's not random. That's her lowering her guard by inches. And here's the dark psychology most men miss. When a woman shares something vulnerable, she's not just bonding, she's creating psychological intimacy. She's weaving emotional threads between you. The more you respond with grounded presence instead of over-eagerness, the more she leans in. Because desire grows in tension, not pressure. Now here's the second sign. And this is where most men get confused. Her body language becomes softer around you, but more deliberate. She might not touch you immediately. In fact, sometimes she'll do the opposite. She'll hold space. She'll hover near you without fully closing the gap. Why? Because proximity is powerful. When she positions herself closer than necessary, standing beside you instead of across, sitting next to you instead of opposite, she's testing comfort with physical closeness. She starts reacting to your absence, not dramatically, not desperately, but noticeably. Maybe you take longer than usual to reply. Maybe you're slightly more distant one evening. Maybe your attention shifts for a moment, and suddenly, she leans in. She texts first. She asks where you've been. She finds a reason to reopen the conversation. This isn't neediness. It's attachment forming. When a woman begins imagining intimacy with you, even unconsciously, she becomes sensitive to emotional distance. Your presence starts to matter more than she expected. And here's the psychology behind it. Desire amplifies perceived loss. The moment she feels you pulling away, even slightly, her mind fills the gap. She wonders what changed. She replays conversations. She questions whether she misread you. Because when she wants you, uncertainty becomes uncomfortable, and that discomfort pushes her closer. But this only works if your distance is natural, not manipulative. Forced detachment feels fake. Calm independence feels magnetic. There's a difference. Now the fifth sign. Her teasing becomes more personal. Not just playful banter, but layered. She'll challenge you in subtle ways. "Oh, so you think you're mysterious? You probably say that to every girl. Are you always this calm?" These aren't attacks. They're probes. When a woman wants intimacy, She wants to feel your emotional strength. She tests your reactions, not to push you away, but to measure your stability. If you become defensive, the tension dies. If you become arrogant, the connection hardens. Now, this is the moment that decides everything, because recognizing her desire is one thing, handling it correctly is another. Most men ruin intimacy at the exact second they realize it's available. Why? Because awareness turns into urgency, and urgency kills tension. You see the signs, you feel the shift. Her eyes are softer, her voice is slower, she's closer than usual. The air feels heavier between you, and suddenly your mind races. This is it. Don't mess this up. Make a move. That internal pressure, she can feel it. Women are highly attuned to emotional shifts. The moment your calm presence turns into anxious anticipation, the polarity changes. Intimacy requires safety. And safety disappears when a man feels like he's trying to get something. Here's the biggest mistake men make. They rush the moment to secure the outcome. They move too fast physically. They overcompliment. They change their tone. They become overly intense. And the tension collapses. Because what she wanted wasn't speed, it was depth. When a woman wants intimacy, she doesn't just want access to your body, she wants to feel chosen, but not pressured, desired, but not consumed. The psychology here is powerful. If you escalate too quickly, her subconscious goes into evaluation mode. Is he grounded? Is he experienced? Is he just excited because I'm available? But when you stay steady, when you let the silence breathe, when you hold eye contact without grabbing, when you smile slightly instead of lunging forward, something different happens. Her desire intensifies because now she feels tension without threat. Think about it like this. Fire needs oxygen to grow. If you smother it with urgency, it dies. But if you let it breathe, it spreads. So what should you do in that moment? Slow down. Lower your voice instead of raising your energy. Hold eye contact 1 second longer than comfortable, then look away first. Let her feel the possibility without immediately sealing it. This creates psychological anticipation, and anticipation is more powerful than immediate gratification. She liked the attention, not the intimacy. There's no depth in that dynamic, no progression, no real emotional exchange. And that's why understanding these signs isn't about manipulation, it's about awareness. When you learn to read her emotional shifts, you stop guessing. You stop chasing mixed signals. You stop forcing moments that aren't aligned. And something powerful happens. You become selective. You respond only to genuine desire. You move only when the energy is mutual. You slow down instead of speeding up. And, paradoxically, that's when women lean in more. Because confidence isn't loud, it's controlled. And the man who can sense real intimacy forming and handle it without panic becomes rare. So remember this. If she opens emotionally, if she softens physically, if she creates isolation, if she reacts to your absence, if she tests your stability, if her touch becomes intentional, and if her investment is consistent, you're not imagining it. You're witnessing desire unfold in the language she actually speaks. But never forget, your power isn't in spotting her intimacy. It's in staying grounded enough not to lose yourself in it. Because the moment you start chasing validation, you hand over control. And the moment you stay centered, you become unforgettable. If this opened your eyes, subscribe to Female Code Unlocked. Because the more you understand the psychology beneath her behavior, the less you'll ever have to guess again. And that's when the dynamic changes forever.